Today I'm gonna do another 3-state loop. Go up into Idaho around Lava Hot Springs and come down back into Utah through Bear Lake and be crossing into Wyoming a little bit after that, then back into Utah. Last week I took the 84 towards Boise. This week I'm taking 15 towards Pocatello. Should be crossing into Idaho here shortly. Getting pretty close to Idaho now. Another nice day. It said it was supposed to rain today, but I wouldn't mind if we hit rain because I still have bugs on the front of my car from my last drive. Idaho state line. We'll be in Idaho for about 2 hours until we cross back into Utah around Bear Lake, straight east, and head up through Lava Hot Springs on Highway 30. Go through a couple small towns up there and loop back around to Bear Lake. Passing through Malad City, first town in Idaho. Not far from the exit to take Highway 30 over to Lava Hot Springs. Reservoir right there. Looks like a cool little camping spot. Passing through Downey. Only another 20 miles till the exit. Take towards Lava Hot Springs. For Lava Hot Springs. Alright, only 10 miles to Lava Hot Springs. Got some gas in Lava Hot Springs. They got a pretty busy freight line passing through. Came here about 5 years ago with my mom. It's a really cool place. Hot spring down there, a little slide. Town center is down there. And that was Lava Hot Springs. Another 20 miles to Soda Springs. They have more hot springs there as well. Never been there before though. Look at that view. valley here. Soda Springs, Idaho. Population about 3,000. Can't believe there's a car dealership here. It's pretty funny. Starting to leave Soda Springs. Airport right there. Just passed a sign that said 50 miles to Bear Lake. So we're not far from Utah now. And Wyoming. Gonna be crossing into Wyoming. Not too far either. Passing through Georgetown, little farming community. Now we're leaving Georgetown. It's snowing right there, according to the radar. Small little town of Bennington, not far from Montpelier. Entering the town of Montpelier, about 4,000 people. Sleepy town, really. Pretty cool little town. Just leaving Montpelier. Bear Lake not too far. Looks like we might pass through some storms. Beautiful out here. Traffic light. A sign back there said they're doing bridge work, so it could be a minute. Passing through the town of Bloomington. Last town we passed through till Bear Lake. Then we cross back into Utah. There's Bear Lake out there. One of the biggest lakes in Utah. Besides the Great Salt Lake, of course. Crossing into Utah very shortly. about a mile north of the state line. Utah state line right there. Saying goodbye to Idaho. Coming back into Utah. Gonna be paralleling Bear Lake for another half hour. It's a pretty big lake. Be cool to own one of these houses. Take your boat out whenever you want. Each of these houses has its own little dock. It's kind of cool. South end of Bear Lake. Not far from the Wyoming border now. Gonna cross into Wyoming for a little while. Turning down Highway 16, headed down towards Evanston, Wyoming. Should be crossing into Wyoming here shortly. Passing through Randolph, Utah. Coming into Woodruff, last town that we passed through in Utah till we hit the Wyoming state line. Welcome to Wyoming, third state of our loop here. Hit the rain that I was hoping for, cleaned off the front of my car a little bit. Only about 10 miles north of Evanston. Coming into Evanston, Wyoming. Gonna stop and get something to eat. Just about to leave Evanston. So I could take the freeway back to Salt Lake, but there's a back road that I've gone up once before, and it goes up to this little monument, the southwest corner of Wyoming, which is, I think, is pretty cool. So I'm gonna take that road and then meet up with the freeway in Colville. Alright, headed south on Yellow Creek Road. This road does go in and out of Utah and Wyoming twice, but there's no signs for it. I know where the first one is, so I'll point it out when we get up there. Shouldn't be snow up there. We're not crossing into Utah just yet, but the state line is pretty much the top of that hill right there. And that way is south. So very close to crossing back into Utah. So there's a little tiny sign here leaving Uinta County, and the pavement changes. We've now crossed into Utah. Only going to be in Utah for about 10 miles or so, then we cross back into Wyoming, and then back into Utah after that. It kind of just parallels the state line for about 20 miles south. Alright, we're taking a southeastern turn here, and where the pavement changes again right here, back in Wyoming. We'll be back in Utah shortly, and that'll be the last of Wyoming. mountains up there. Mirror Lake Highway. So much snow still. They say they're going to open it at the end of May. Wouldn't surprise me if it was the end of June. Because there's so much snow. Unbelievable. Okay, we're still in Wyoming here. That pavement goes up to the power plant. Take a little dirt road into Utah. It's not dirt for too long. Should be back in Utah shortly. Cross back into Utah. Shouldn't be too much longer till we hit pavement. Southwest corner of Wyoming should just be coming up. Alright, back on pavement. Coming up on the southwest corner of Wyoming. Little monument there I just wanted to come up here and check out. So that was the southwest corner of Wyoming. That's Wyoming right there. And then Utah. That's the road we just came down. It was dirt for about, I'd say, 5 miles. Now we're headed into Colville. Gonna get on the freeway and head towards Salt Lake. Still going down Chalk Creek Road, dropping down into Colville. Beautiful out here. This is Colville. Get on the I-80 here in a sec. Head back to Salt Lake. On the I-80, headed towards Salt Lake. Got about a half hour till I hit Salt Lake. It's snowing in Park City. It's probably not sticking though. Back in Salt Lake City. Might hit some traffic here. It is 5 o'clock. Salt Lake City traffic. Thanks for watching. And there was a view of downtown Salt Lake.